bizarre setup though that I've never seen. J1772 AC charging directly next to a DC port. Hello, welcome back to Notch EV. I am beat, I am tired. It is 8 o'clock. I got here at 9:30 a.m. I spent most of the day filming with Dave, Out of Spec Dave and Kathy. We had a kind of a great day. I really concentrated on just having fun with them. And then they left like an hour ago. And then I came through here and blazed some of my own content. And so it's the end of the day, but what you're gonna see in this video is just going around. I'm gonna just try to hit all the EVs in here quickly and not make it a big drawn out thing. And then there's two EVs here that I think are really the important ones of the show, which are the Kia EV3 and the Subaru Getaway, which is the twin sister car of the Toyota Highlander. And these are both this shared platform entrance of these brands into the three-row SUVs in the more affordable side. Those I think are the cool ones to showcase here and that got debuted here. So we'll see those in another video, but just watch and just see what's going on here. This will be quick and you can see all the EVs and just see what it looks like this year. Coming over here to Genesis, the only EV they're showing off today is their quite fancy one, which is pretty cool. It is the sporty variant, the GV60 Magma. And I mean, it looks cool. It's got a lot of flair, I guess you say. You got an aux port in the back, wrong side. Let's see if we can open the door here. It's got really cool stitching on the door and like this soft felt-like fabric. Nice stitching in here. Look at it. And a pretty cool interior. But overall, it's just kind of a nice, flashy looking Genesis. It makes the Genesis a lot more appealing in my opinion. It's fun. I just spent a lot of time over here with Dave and Kathy. Kathy likes this a lot. She says it's the Miami car. I agree. I think this one would be good down in Florida, especially with how tinted they have these windows. But this is what Genesis is bringing to the party today in terms of EVs. And I think it's pretty cool. This, however, is not an EV, but bring back the wagon to America, please. This looks great. I love this. And now, of course, the king here, the Porsche Cayenne EV is here. You can't go up to it, can't go in it. But this is, for me, this was something that I sort of was considering cross-shopping against the Gravity. This is also a 400 kilowatt charging car, like 108 kilowatt hour usable battery. This thing is going to be most likely a road trip king when it gets on the roads here. The only problem about this car for me is that in order to get it spec'd out similar to the Gravity, this costs a lot more. And it has a lot, it has a lot less space inside, which is funny to call the Gravity Grand Touring a good deal, but it kind of is. Like these base spec Porsches, they're 0 to 60s in the 4 seconds, which just feels like slow. It makes me sad that Porsche even offers a car that slow when Grand Touring Gravity is doing 3.4. So, but it's still an awesome car. I just think you got to spend 150K instead of 100. And then as we come over to the Kia section, we have the EV9 here again, same place as last year, but here is the big new one for the year. The EV3 comes to America. This is the small, crunched down crossover, smaller than a Model Y by 19 inches in length, but this is one of the new hot things for this show. One of the things that people have been interested in. I'm gonna put out a video separately just on this, but I think this is a cool little car and probably great for places like New York City for getting out, but also being able to be in dense areas. And then right next to it, they have the faster charging EV6. And before I leave the Kia section, look at this cool bus they decaled up as a taxi, but they're calling it the PV5 electric van. What does this say? New York taxi concept. As a guy in New York, I think this is so cool. I would be pumped if I could get in this as a taxi. I mean, it's not really, this brawn ability thing. This is for being able to load up wheelchairs and things. So this is good for the people. And it's just got like a ton of space in there. Can you see? Or is it glare? I don't know. This is pretty cool. I like this. If I was able to ride in these in the city, I definitely would. And now we're at Subaru. And Subaru is growing in what they're doing and showing off better electric cars than they've ever had in the past. So let's check out what they have today. We'll start off right here. This is the new Solterra. It's got the Max port in the right place. We've got next to it here the Trailseeker, which is kind of like an electric Outback. This was debuted here last year. Also, Max port in the correct place. This one is kind of a cool one. I like that form factor on that one. And then lastly, the Uncharted, which is sort of the smaller one. Am I saying that right? Uncharted? The names. Does this have a name plaque on the front? But this is a fun one. It's a little sporty looking hatchback. What's it say back here? Yeah, Uncharted. Okay, I wasn't wrong. Trailseeker, Solterra. So all these have gotten an upgrade over the past years, because we started off here a few years ago with their entrance in the EVs with the Solterra, and it charged slow, had bad range. And I mean, they're not game-changing top tier EVs now, but I would say they're like acceptable if people want to get into them as a newcomer to EVs. It's definitely going to be better than a few years ago. And that's the three over here, but the big boy of the show is up on the stage. Let me show you that. On the way to the big boy of the show, this is the new gas-powered Outback, and I just think it looks weird now. I feel like I'm sad. I liked the wagon Outback. Why didn't they make this the way I would have wanted? This looks more like a Forester, all squared up. I kind of feel sad for Outback looking like that. Back to EVs though, because that's really what I care about. This is the Getaway, also a name hard to remember, but the Getaway is their new EV, just released. Barely anybody's seen it at this point. This is the same platform as the Toyota Highlander EV, which unfortunately is not here. I would have loved to cross compare them, but this is the 3-row SUV, and this is maybe potentially a big seller. We'll see what happens. But the Getaway by Subaru, and I'm also going to do a dedicated video on this right now because this is kind of the big one of the show. I think this is the car that nobody was asking for, but everybody wants. This is a lowered Toyota BZ electric. They're calling it BZ Time Attack. You could see they put in these seats, they gutted all the weight. They took out all the infotainment, and they put, look at this massive, like, it's like a foot off the car and then a foot and a half of wing, bottom spoiler, whatever you call that thing. We got like the race edition BZ. I'm kind of curious to see how fast it goes, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of a funny one considering the history of the BZ and what that car is. Okay, and now we're coming into the Toyota offerings for electric. Coming up right here on the BZ Woodland, which of course is the same car as the Trailseeker from Subaru, but just rebadged. And then next to it here, we have a BZ covered in Yankee stuff, which is just a slightly smaller version of the Woodland one. not as wagonish, I guess you could say, a little bit more RAV4ish. And then this is the CHR, which is the same thing essentially as the Uncharted, I believe, from Subaru. So you're getting a huge crossover because of the shared platform between Toyota and Subaru when it comes to the EVs they have. And it's like choose your company for badging and maintenance, and that's the car you go with, but they're essentially the same car in most ways. But you know, they're also coming a long way. Most of these charge, I think, at 150 kilowatts. It's not groundbreaking, but it's up a massive amount from their original models that were like 70 kilowatt speed. And I think now it's actually acceptable to buy these EVs as a person that wants one, versus just like 2 years ago, I would have said, don't buy anything from this company. And you know, right here across the way is Volkswagen, and they got a Buzz here. This is a 2025 Buzz, and people seem to love it. People are sitting in it all the time. But you know, I think you could pick these off the lots if they're there, but they're not selling new ones. Maybe they will in another year. They'll come back. But you know, we like the Buzz, they're fun. And then we were looking for a ID4 here, and it turns out the ID4 is no longer being manufactured either. So it's in the EV graveyard, and it seems like the rumor now is at least something in the lines of they're going to do a Volkswagen Tiguan ID. So, you know, hopefully that looks nice, and hopefully that's an improvement over the ID4. We'll see what happens, but more in the graveyard of EVs this year. And right here we got what Jeep is offering, the Renegade Moab. Check this out. Full electric off-roader. Is this going to put R2, you know, is this going to give R2 a run for the money? I don't know, but it's different than an R2, obviously. This is way more off-roady. You got the trail rated badge, but you can see here, it's a 400 volt car. So maybe not the hugest charging, but 100 kilowatt hour battery. It is saying, does it say a max range here? I don't know. I think you're gonna get close, mid 200s, maybe 250s, but it's rather large. Like, I'm 6'1", and if I bring this up to eye level, like, this is above, the roof is above my headline, and you could take the doors off. Look at no glass, straight in there. It's a cool looking off-road EV. If you want this kind of thing, I really like this one. Doing the snorkel thing. It's just kind of, there's things about the Jeep design that I personally don't love, like across the entire Jeep brand, but I think this is just a fun looking EV. This is this is the same thing, but with doors, different color. Look at these beefy. I mean, that's fun. Talking about a lot of emotional car buying lately, I've been hearing about, because of the release of the R2 and how that looks and how it gets people inspired. I do think this amps up that traditional beefy, manly look for an EV. So kind of cool to see. Look at this huge tire on the back. Oh, before I leave, 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds for this thing. Like, that is pretty awesome. They're not holding back on power there. If you're gonna do EVs, I mean, why not get the big 650 horsepower? That makes it a lot of fun. It's saying starting at 65K. So it's more expensive than an R2, but it's an interesting option that's gonna be coming on the market. And then of course, here I am at Lucid, where you might expect to see me with all the Gravity content I do. This is the first Sapphire I've actually ever seen in person, and it looks great. The color in person is a little bit richer and darker than the way it's appearing on iPhone, the way the iPhone processing is capturing it, but that looks good. It's got this big spoiler, and honestly, this is way bigger than I expected. When you think of like a spoiler like on a Model 3, this is like double the width. Anyhow, you can see this one was used and sat in by Timothy Chalamet, so you know this one's extra special. Then of course we got Gravity, which won just recently. We got the world winner of the world luxury car, so that's very cool. This is a nice Gravity in the gray color, which I haven't really seen too much of, and I actually think that's a really nice choice versus these other colors that they have going on. I'm definitely black and gray team. As you probably know if you're watching my channel, these guys are obviously 400 kilowatt charging speed SUVs, 123 kilowatt hour batteries. These are the big boy EV road trippers, winning the Eastern Edge race. This is my SUV of choice. Even if you don't want to call it that, call it what you will. I think it crushes the competition right now. And we got, of course, an Air next to it on this side, Sapphire on the other side. Big frunk. Okay, that's the Lucid show here. Over here we just have a few Volvos. Kind of a small show up. That's a EX90 over there, I believe. We got the XC90 here. Let's check it out quick. All right, we got the beautiful EX90. I think this is a nice looking car. This is also kind of a Gravity competition, €3 SUV. They have a really nice design language in my opinion. They also put a NACS port. Oh, they don't have the NACS port on this one. Don't they have NACS now? But they put the port in the right spot for NACS. But this thing is kind of like a Gravity competition. But what it can't do the same is give you the interior space and the charging speed. So that's why I had to rule it out. I'm a big road tripper. I want that high speed charging. And although this is an awesome car, it's not the right choice for me, and it might be the right choice for you. It has an amazing sound system in there. So that is something to know. And then of course you have the Hyundais. You got the N's here. I love the Ioniq 5N. It looks so cool. And then you got the Ioniq 6N, which is the only one that's going to stay. The 6 is canceled for America, probably because of tariffs. But things are looking good here. They have their Ioniq 9 all the way back here, and one of the consultant guys that's working here said that he hears a rumor that there's going to be an Ioniq 9N. So that'd be kind of interesting. 3-row SUV sport series, I guess. I mean, in a way that would bring that closer to the Gravity, but I can't imagine quite as good. But it's kind of interesting, an interesting change. This is the CLA 250 Plus, Mercedes new electric sedan. This thing is honestly a pretty good step forward for Mercedes. It's got 320 kilowatt charging. It could do 10 to 80 in 22 minutes. This is a really bizarre setup though that I've never seen. J1772 AC charging directly next to a DC port, Tesla port. Very strange. Nice sort of Mercedes typical luxury interior. Looks good, big screens. It's a nice little car. Right next to Mercedes though, we got BMW, and they're not bringing much. I would have loved to see an iX3 here, but no go. That was what happened in Germany not too long ago, where that looked like it was going to be such an awesome car, and then the iX3 sort of burned Mercedes with a one-up. But that's not going to happen at the show here today. And now over here, getting near the end of the show, Ford's over here. Let's see what's up. Oh, we got the new Leaf. Before we go to the Ford here, you can see the new Leaf is here. Whoops. Let's go wide. This is a cool little car, another budget car, and it's, this is an awesome little entry for the market to have. You got the DC fast charging only NAX port, so don't plug into an AC level 2 charger on that side. It won't do anything. You got to go over here to the J1772 port if you want an AC charge, which to me is a very bizarre decision, and they'll say it's for their customers, but I think it's that the switch caught them off guard. That's not fact. That's just my opinion, and I could be making that up. But the Leaf is a nice little inexpensive car, and I'm glad it's here. It's a big improvement over the old Leaf that had no thermal management or everything. This thing, according to the sign, is 303 miles of range. They're putting dual charge ports as if it's a good thing, like a selling point. I find that hilarious. Okay, so that was an unexpected Nissan. I was going over here, which is pretty much the end. Last year, Ford had a lot of cars here. Well, not a ton, but they had a good amount of electric cars. They had a whole charging installation demo thing. And now we've got a Mach-E here and a Mach-E back there. And that's it. The F-150 Lightning is gone. This is the only EV they're making at the moment. So this one's kind of old news at this point too. But here you go, Mach-E. Some people love it. Some people don't care about it. That is a wrap on the New York City Car Show. This was just sort of a quick little go around trying to look at all the EVs available. And I'll have 2 standalone videos coming out for the Getaway and the EV3, because I thought those were kind of the important cars of the show. But thanks for watching this, and I'll see you on one of those next ones.